Brodes Media.
Oh, this is hell. This is absolute hell. Where do we begin? I thought the refs sucked. You had a double-digit lead, though, in the fourth. You lost to Bo Nix at home. It's a disgrace. Saquon Barkley gets 6 total carries, 1 in the second half. Again, when you're leading big, what that tells me, A.J. Brown and his comments and him running his mouth and being very selfish dictated the way the coaches coached the game. It's not ironic that the same exact week following another noisy A.J. Brown, that we're wondering how they get away from the run game this obnoxiously. And we could talk all about how the offensive line isn't the same and they weren't getting that much great run production as it was even in the earlier 4 weeks. And I'm aware, I know. But for you to get this far away from something that is so on brand with what you do, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, they got influenced. They let A.J. Brown call the shots. You lost. That's an issue. It's an issue. Along with being undisciplined late, along with A.J. Brown giving up on routes. Was it overthrown? I don't know. A.J. Brown stopped running. He said it had nothing to do with Jalen clutching, double clutching. It had everything to do with just, it was a long developing play. I didn't think I'd get the ball. I looked up. I didn't see the ball yet. I stopped running. You can't stop running. Especially when you don't shut up. You don't shut up. You have to back up your play. I saw a shot on the sidelines when the Eagles were still up big. Man, he looked like a baby. He looked so not happy. He looked like there was so much displeasure going on. There's real beef happening. And we're getting into a sticky situation. I mean, Hugh Douglas, who's tapped in, he had a hell of a rant on WIP if you missed it. But one of the days he was saying what he's hearing is bad. Between AJ and Jalen. Bad. Then you had Rossini put out a piece saying that they just have a professional working relationship. Well, that's all great and dandy if you have a professional working relationship and you never had a strong friendship to the point where it was brotherhood. But if you go from brotherhood and you are my godparent of my children to now we're just a professional relationship, then it's not fixable. Then it's real problematic. And I think we have something boiling internally that is real problematic. Now, will it automatically be their downfall? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe they can still work around the uncomfortableness. Maybe it can be a strange, unique room and they still do it because they just want to win that badly. Maybe. But these antics of the body language and the moping and the Nick Pavetta crap, that's what it was. When you watch Nick Pavetta for the Phillies cry, walking off the mound, pouting, shoulder slumped. Here's AJ on the bench. Here he goes. Eagles are up 17-3, trying to go 5-0, undefeated in the first 5 games after winning the Super Bowl. Here he is, twisting his neck back and forth, as he's quitting on routes. And this is where Kevin Patullo comes into play. Kevin Patullo is so overmatched, it's not even funny. I'd imagine if you have half a brain cell, you would respect Shannon Sharpe's football knowledge, right? I'm not saying every opinion he ever has in the history of football is correct, but I think he's intelligent. Yeah, I see why A.J. Brown's upset. He runs 3 routes. An under, a slant, and an occasional sluggo. I'm frustrated watching this shit. Kevin Patullo has no idea what he's doing. I'm just not. And clearly neither does Nick Sirianni, because if it's this blah and this silly, then you have to do something about it. And Nick doesn't do anything about it because I think he believes in what Kevin Patullo sells, and that's why they're a 1-2 punch. They both look this way, or they both feel this way. They both think that this is what it should look like. Oh my God, it's awful. It's so bland, it's not even funny. So then when A.J. Brown late is running his 75th slant of the day, and he's getting swarmed, and he's getting draped all over, and I see him on the sideline, again, complaining where the ball placement was, as if it wasn't the most obvious route in the history of obvious routes, because it's all you run. Who we mad at here? It starts with the offensive minds. That's problem number one. I thought Jalen had some really nice balls. Listen, on 4th and 4 at the 50, you gotta have it play. He throws a beauty to Devontae Smith. That's game on the line stuff. Made an excellent, excellent pass. Illegal formation. That throw to Jahan Dotson. Oh my God. And the refs blew that one too. Whoever's watching in the command room, or whatever the hell they call it. Here's the thing, right? We can sit here all we want and say we can't blame the refs. You had a double-digit lead, and I agree with that. But then that allows the refs to get off the hook. The refs fucking sucked. The Eagles blew it too. The Eagles blew it too. Saying it again. The Eagles blew this. The refs sucked. Saying we can't blame the refs allows for that fucking horse shit to continue, and you have to accept it. I'm not fucking accepting that bullshit. Cooper DeJean, fumble, takes 3 points off the board. That's a fumble. The arm motion going forward crap, bullshit. Fumble. Wasn't even close either. Clear fumble. They got that wrong. The Jahan Dotson play. Clear. Both feet in bounds. The Dallas Goedert. Pass interference. Clear. Disgusting. Putrid. These are all real. These are all facts. The Zach Bond play, I'm 50-50 on. 50% of me thinks, come on, Zach, you got to be smarter than that. The other goes, the guy was still trying to maintain his knees off the ground to get more yards. The guy's attempting to still get more yards, even though he's tackled. What the fuck are you doing? Throwing that Bush League flag. So there's that, too. I mean, it was bad. Bad. And I don't feel ashamed saying that. That was a part of this game. And you still could have won even, well, the whole game would have changed. You could have made plays earlier, so then, you know, the Dallas Goedert play isn't even a thing because you're up and you're winning and you had the lead, so it doesn't even come down to that. So clearly, some of these possessions, Zach Bond trying to make the tackle, it wouldn't play out the same way. So all of that would have changed, but both are true. You pissed all over yourself and urinated all over yourself, and the ref should be ashamed and not get paid for the day. After something like this, I got to smoke some of the green. You know what I'm saying? So I can get comfortable and relax. How about this, Philly fans? Game day is stressful enough. Check out my friends over at Camden Apothecary. Parking, traffic, long lines. We've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. And they are only 5 minutes over the bridge. This is the dispensary for sports fans. Just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast. No hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about your convenience, people. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, watching the game at a watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off. That's right. Come on now. I know it helps me in a time of need. And right now, I'm in a time of need, because this team is pissing me off. It's unbelievable. There is a chemistry problem. Just in regards to being a team. You can win games, and winning games is great. But what makes Nick Sirianni's messaging very impactful when it all aligns is he makes sure that you build a culture where you are brothers with one another, where you will do anything for one another, where you love one another. You will sell your soul for the guy next to you in the stall. And I think that does matter when you're on the field. Every inch that you're trying to earn, you will do anything to get that inch for the next guy. Doesn't look to me that's the way they play offensively. Every man for themselves. When Devontae gets a catch, you know what I think? AJ's pissed. When Jahan Dotson gets a target, I think AJ's pissed. I don't think the team is happy and thrilled the ball's moving downfield. I think, well, AJ's not happy. That's just not a winning culture set. And I'm not telling you, kick AJ Brown out of here, blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm saying. I don't know what you do. I don't know if this is a fixable relationship. I'm not sure. I'm starting to believe that it's possible they can't. I can read it, man. If you can't see it with the way AJ standing in front of his locker, here we go again. Here we go again. And he plays the victim a lot. He's a narcissistic guy, is what it comes down to. That's my read on it. I think it's like a toxic relationship where if he was in a relationship, it's narcissistic. The smile, the apology, the doing it again. It's one crazy, vicious cycle. And that's the type of personality we're dealing with. When it's good, it's good. When it's great, it's great. But man, when there's ever adversity hit, he's the first one to quit. He's the first one to make it more difficult for everybody around you. He makes it way harder than it needs to be. And look at what they did. They tried everything in their power to make him happy. And truth be told, Devontae was the one that had the big passing day. And if Kevin Patullo can learn anything from this game, how about we stop with the 3rd and long? Let's just do a draw and punt it. Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? When you take the shot downfield to Devontae? You can make special plays on 3rd and long. You can make special plays on 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15. You don't have to quit, but you always love to quit. Speaking of Devontae, he said something about not being on the same page as one. Communication being off. AJ said he didn't feel that way. Of course he didn't feel that way, right? Oh, hold on. Now all of a sudden, AJ Brown feels like the communication and all the like the signs and everything on the field. Oh, it was great, right, AJ? Devontae brings it up saying it wasn't clean, it wasn't crisp, it wasn't where it needed to be. We needed to be sharper. Yet AJ goes, yeah, probably because he wasn't paying attention. Probably because AJ was going, I don't care what happens today. I'm not getting my number called enough for my liking. I thought I'd get the ball more, but actually it's not even going my way, so I'm not even caring. He's probably why. The more and more I talk through this, he's probably why the communication was all out of whack and it wasn't in sync, because he wasn't even locked in while Devontae's trying to stay locked in. One guy's quitting on routes, the other guy's having a phenomenal day. Jalen says they do have what it takes to get the execution right. But the execution isn't dialed in right now. He thinks internally the answers are there. It's about finding the answers, getting to work. Well, I guess the good thing is, short week, facing a team that has a fresh new quarterback who's losing games to the New Orleans Saints on the road. Giving Spencer Rattler a win in his first, 75 starts? He finally got a win? I mean, come on, man. So you put it behind you rather quickly, and you got to flip the page instead of sitting in it and soaking in it. Although sometimes I think that there's a valuable lesson to learn when you soak in it. I actually think for the first time, them losing, it may have been a good thing to not have a short week so they can really suffer in the pain. Because when they win, it masks a lot of it, even though they always do acknowledge there's a lot to learn. And I'll take the win with a lot to learn in masks situations. I'll take that. I'll take that any day of the week. Feeling this pain, feeling a loss, I don't want the loss. I don't want the loss. I'll take an ugly win and some things being masked. I can't even talk. Oh, man. I'm aggravated. It's been a tough weekend. If the Phils lose tomorrow, too, God, at least the Flyers, well... Oh, Ringo. Oh, Ringo. He's terrible. You know who I thought had a bad day? I thought Quignon had a bad day. A lot of contested balls, and Sutton's coming down with it. Okay, I'm aware that there's talent on the other side. You're supposed to be a lockdown corner. I need you to make some of those plays. I think he got beat up today. I think he got fried a good amount of times. Unacceptable. And then Ringo, of course, was getting fried because he stinks. He's a bum. He got picked on everywhere. He's so bad. I'm sick and tired of it. People are, oh, but his skill set, look at his frame, look at his size. His size, he fucking sucks. I don't care about his size. His size, my ass. And kudos to Sean Payton for the 2-point conversion because I respect the hell out of that. It was the right call, a great decision, and it put the Eagles on their heels. Put the Philadelphia Eagles on the heels and applied so much pressure. I hate Sean Payton. He's a hate the face. I want to hit him with a right hook. I want to get him with a jab and an uppercut. I want to hit him with a combo. I can't stand looking at that stupid face. But I respect the hell out of that decision because you're on the road, you're going up against an undefeated team, you see they're vulnerable, and boom, you pounce. It was very smart. But I really did think, guess what? The Eagles had a chance there to win that football game if the refs called an obvious pass interference call on Dallas Goedert, which it was obvious. How about, did I even mention the picking up the intentional grounding? Did I mention that play or not yet? I think we have to get the FBI involved. Mandatory. FBI has to be involved. Has to grab all the cell phones of everyone who worked the game. You can't pick that up. I mean... The closest receiver was 30 yards away. Now that count 30 yards, it counts? 40? 40 yards counts? Okay. It's unacceptable. I'm waiting to see what we get from the head coach. And I'm not blaming Jalen for this one. I'm not blaming Jalen. Group chats going off. Jalen does. Jalen stinks. Jalen can't do that. I don't know how you walk away from this game saying Jalen stinks. I think in totality, for the millionth time, there is something structurally wrong with this. The foundation is broken. You can only do so much. There is a ceiling when your foundation is broken from a scheme standpoint. Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni, the two offensive minds in-house that are supposed to shape this thing and have them prepared, there is something wrong. There's something wrong. And we also don't have the same offensive line play. We can't run the ball as efficiently as we once did, but the drop-off shouldn't be this either. Even with a weaker offensive line, the drop-off is jarring. The drop-off is almost, you need to try and have this level of drop-off. You accidentally had more production just traditionally handing it off to Saquon because he's not a broken-down player. I don't look at Saquon Barkley and say, that's a guy who's diminished from last year. That's a guy who has no juice left. That's a guy that's got nothing left in his legs. I saw a guy run 17 yards. Oh, there you go, baby. I saw him have a couple of tough runs where he earns a couple extra yards after. Okay, baby, here we go. And then gets one carry the rest of the way. So, if that's the case, where it's this rough, you got to strip it all the way down. That's what you got to do. You got to strip it all the way down and start over. The problem is, I don't think they have the firepower mentally to get the structure they're looking for. I do wonder that. I wonder if Kevin Patullo is right for this, if he's ready for this. And I know whenever Nick Sirianni has the final say offensively, it's this. He had to give it up to Shane Steichen. He went with it with the Brian Johnson stuff. Nope, that was rough. Kellen Moore was put on his plate and said, you have to use this guy or else you're getting fired. And was fired in that year. Here's here's Kellen Moore. Here's Vic Fangio. They had to pretty much sit him down and say, you're going to get fired. I'm handing you the coordinators. And now he's back to being with his guy, his right-hand man, him being the offensive guru. Every time he's the offensive guru, it's messy. It starts there. It starts there. There's other issues. It starts there. It's not the end of the world, though, just to bring it back. Even here I bring it back 20 minutes. I hate them. They suck. Patolo stinks. Okay. They lost to an AFC opponent. They won a lot of games in a row. I mean, there were plays there available to win this, even if it wouldn't have satisfied us with the whole way it would have looked. It still would have been another win. But I guess here's where you get back to reality. Well, if there's an A.J. Jalen problem, then maybe there's truth to that play not being hit down the road. You know what actually bothered me about that whole thing? A.J. Brown was asked if him and Jalen spoke after that play, almost just acknowledging, hey, we almost had one there. This is what happened. Nah, I didn't talk to him. Excuse me? I would think that a home run hit just missed, where there was something not intact there. You smack each other, give each other a little smack on the rear end, like, hey, boy, we got this. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we got this. Let's go, boys. Something. Just an acknowledgement of, we're right there. We're so close. We'll get it next time. Damn, man, that's going to eat me alive. But, hey, good looks. The play was there. It was available. That option, boom, it was there. Where before, we didn't even see some deep shots. At least we saw the playbook open up, and we saw some good, decent designs. One of them was Jalen Hurts walking up to the line of scrimmage, realizing Alex Singleton, okay, let's pick on that fool. And Saquon Barkley takes it to the house on a wheel route. That was sensational. But we started to see things develop. You would think after a play that was so close to getting hit, there was some version of acknowledgement of, all right, dude, all right, here we go. Hey, don't worry about it. It's like in basketball, you're a point guard, and you're penetrating the lane, and you kick it out to a three-point shooter who shoots a career 44% from three, and he misses a wide-open look. But it was a good dish. You drew the defenders your way. You kick it out, 44% wide open. Clank, hit the back iron. The other team calls timeout. When you go to the bench, you say, hey, don't worry about it, baby. We'll get it next time. Hey, don't worry about it. Good play. I can't wait to draw it up again. We'll find you again in that corner. Don't you worry. Where's the positive affirmation? That's not it. Is that it? That's not it. That doesn't sound right. But come on, man. Where's the confirmation that we can do this? That irritates me. That upsets me because it plays into the dynamic of we got a problem, a friendship problem. We really do. I mean, we really, really do. All right, anything with Nick Sirianni yet? I see a lot of Jalen. Nick Sirianni, obviously we want to run the ball more than we were able to today, and says he does believe the run game's ability to close out games. Well, then why didn't you? The Eagles were 2-11 on third down against the Broncos. Here are the third downs that they faced. 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 2 converted, 3rd and 17 converted, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Well, if Nick Sirianni believes that the run game can close out games, then in what world would you not lean heavily on that? That's what you do. That's part of your brand. That's part of your bread and butter. That's what makes you extremely difficult. The long sustained drives, milking the clock, it's still resulting in points by the end. If you believe heavily, that should be your first thought. How is it not your first thought? It's football 101. You're up big. It's the second half. You should be able to take control. And what I don't want to hear is any excuses of, well, if there's an RPO, there's technically a run option off of that play. So we do call run plays. It just didn't play out that way on the field. Shut your fucking mouth. Now, I didn't hear anybody actually say that. But in years past, we have heard that that sort of describe what's going on. Well, there is a run portion in an RPO. It's just Jalen would pull it from Saquon's gut and make a nice throw to Goddard or make a nice throw to Smitty in the flats. But no, that's not what I'm saying. You can't lose that part of your fundamentals, running the rock. You can't. You can't. And I know they've struggled to run the rock. Get it done. Get it done. You don't quit. You quit with Saquon Barkley running the ball because you can't run the ball with Saquon? Again, the Giants, for a freaking decade, with the worst offensive line ever assembled, found ways to get him running the ball. I mean, sure, they left meat on the bones. Sure, they could have done better with a better offensive line, but that's no excuse. And it goes back to, I wonder what the tells are saying. When they're in this formation, trying to run the ball, they run it this percent, so the other team's defense knows it and blows it up right away. Where you get a 0% chance of success because the other team is already prepared for it, and you're almost running it right into the gut of what they're trying to do. That's film study stuff, but the numbers have been dancing around forever now that they're just not creative enough. And they're almost giving the information out to the other team. Here it is. Think about this. You have to force the other team to sell their soul to stop Saquon. Now you're doing it by design. You're making it easier for everybody in the league. Hey, remember that one juggernaut threat that is so game-breaking and elite that everyone is afraid of and was the best player in the league last season? We're not going to use him. We're just going to prepare to not use him organically. By design, I should say. Okay. Oh, you can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't. All right. Let's take a couple anytime hotline calls here. But first, here's a couple Eagles second half drives. 4 plays, 74 yards, touchdown. 5 plays, 23 yards, punt. 3 plays, negative 16 yards, punt. 3 plays, negative 6 yards, punt. Good. There's some of your second half drives. You know what else helps me along the way throughout these type of losses? Emilio cigars. You know I love to enjoy a celebratory cigar. Well, when there's a lot of bad feelings going on, old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned, third generation, made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. If you are a cigar smoker, do me a favor. Click the link down below in the description. Give it a shot. You're going to have your life changed. Seriously, it's going to change your life forever. There's only one cigar to smoke. That's an Emilio cigar. There's so many different options for you on their website. And you can use promo code BRODES10 at checkout for 10% off. It's a no-brainer. They're great for seriously any sort of day that you have planned. If you're going golfing, boom. You got a foursome going with the fellas, boom. You got a family party, you got the boys over to watch the Eagles game, and after you eat your pizza and all, you want to sit out back while the wives are chit-chatting about something else inside the house, whatever. You got the dogs running out back, you're throwing the frisbee, you got the cigar going. Emilio Cigar, do me a favor. Try it. I'm being honest with you. You are going to fall in love. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family today. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Let's do it.
Hey, bros, this is Roman down here in Atlanta. This game was about the little things, man. It was about the little things, and we did not execute. It's easy to blame the refs on that, but, you know, we got to come out and perform. AJ, you want the ball. You want to be in that spot, but you give up on a route that would basically seal the game. I mean, the disciplinary things haven't come back to haunt us, but this game it did. We need to tighten up. We need to be ready. We can't put 2 good halves together. I mean, we just got to go back to the drawing board, regroup. We needed this loss. We needed this loss because we'll come back better. That's all I got for you. Thank you. Bye.
I understand where you're coming from, and I think it's something that we say after a loss happens to sort of use it as a defensive mechanism. But, yeah, I mean, listen, it's not the end of the world, right? And I do think it changes the urgency. I think it changes the vibes. I think a lot of people just assume they're going to win all the time, and this is a reminder that you got to bring it. And the pain of losing inside the NovaCare complex, I think you look at the film differently. I think things do get masked. I'm just going to stop fucking saying that word. But I do think that you can get away with certain things and you don't study the film with the same level of aggression when you win ugly, when you greasy one it out, grind a greasy one out. Oh my God, I'm about to give up. I don't even know. All right, let's read this. So Jalen Hurts, I mentioned Devontae Smith said that the offensive stalling, sometimes they're not on the same page. And I said A.J. Brown didn't understand what he was saying. I guess it looks like Jalen Hurts, same thing. Jalen Hurts says he needs to look at the film to consider this. He does not know what Devontae Smith is referring to, but he doesn't discount it. So the quarterback is unaware that Devontae, on a day where Devontae popped off, where Devontae was eating out there. He was cooking. He was strong. He feels something isn't aligned. Yet A.J. Brown is confused. And Jalen said, I'll have to go back to the tape. I'm not discrediting what he's stating, but it's not something that necessarily hits me. Seems like a lot of dysfunction. Seems like we're out of whack. Right now, it's fragile. Doesn't mean it will be forever, but right now it's fragile. Last year, they were able to overcome a 2-2 fragile locker room. Do they still have that potential to do it here? I can't rule it out, but I do think it's worse than ever with AJ and Jalen. I think there's real beef there. I do. I'm just being honest with you. I think there's some beef there. There's some beef there. I mean, you can just see it, right? It's kind of pretty clear. It's on the coaching staff right now to keep this all together, because we are at a potential breaking point. Not just because of the loss. This is outside. Believe it or not, this is outside of wins and losses. Because they could win a bunch, be 14-3 by the end of the year, and if the turmoil and the toxicity is still occurring in that locker room, it'll be the end of them. I think it could stop them from winning the ultimate goal. Right now, it's fragile in the room due to personality mix, due to the meshing of personalities and the lack thereof meshing, if that even makes sense. Nothing I've made sense in the last 20 minutes because I am not on my A game. I'm Brett Thoat right now. You know, I'm an illegal man downfield on an RPO. Maybe it's not my fault, though. I'm doing what I'm told. I'm told to block. So it's not my fault. Remember when we talked about winning games?
Hey, Brodes. Roger from Syracuse. Wow. What the fuck? I mean, between the Phils yesterday and the Eagles today, I'm low. I'm feeling real low. And I know it's typically a loser sentiment, but Goddard had pass interference on him on that last drive. It shouldn't come down to the officials making a call. But the calls in that last drive, and really the last quarter for that matter, were bullshit. Vaughn, that's such a ticky-tack, Bush League fucking call on Vaughn hitting after the play. Like, he landed on the guy. Like, come on. Like, what the fuck? Like, we should have outright scraped that one out. It would have been a big question mark. But still, it should have been a win.
Yeah, if I heard you correctly there at the end, you should have scraped one out. Is that what you said? Your phone kind of had a little bit of a weird dead spot there. But, Yeah, I mean, there was a time where I thought this game could have been just a game where they won, and it was just boring. If they put up another touchdown and they were up 24-3, and then the clock just expired, and it was the same thing that happened when it was 17-3, but there was no Denver comeback. They hit the dagger. They win 24-3 with that A.J. Brown touchdown, but instead he quits. In this scenario, he doesn't quit. And you win the game with just running the clock out. Maybe you kick a field goal at the end. Maybe you punt it twice, whatever it is. And it was just a game of, hey, they won. The offense looked better. It moved a little bit more fluid. And we move on to a short week against the New York Giants. I thought there was a world where it lived in that space. Denver, AFC opponent, you beat Bo Nix. The storyline heading into this was very good red zone defense versus very good red zone offense. You kick the field goal early. You end up getting a touchdown later. That Saquon play was so sick. Or the Dallas Goedert one. Speaking of red zone, because that was after the third and long bomb to Devontae, right? If my plays are running together properly. But, you know, you move past the Denver team and you win with just a standard nice game. Not a lot of controversy in it. You just win it. It's just a game out of 17 where there's just not a lot to dig into. I thought maybe it could be that. Your defense played well. Your defense had answers for Bo Nix. Your offense, again, it had some more flow to it. All right, it looks like it's progressing in the right direction. That's it. Let's see what you do against the Giants on a short week. Instead, turn into chaos. And I'm sure a lot of you felt this way too, but there was just something that was hitting me weirdly on Friday for the Football Friday. And I never do that. Not with this group. I say, I don't care how it looks. They're going to find a way. And I feel good about it. I say it in a way where I take pride in it. I don't care how it looks. They're going to win because that's what they do. I feel strong about it. There's a lot of conviction in it. There's a lot of smiles. Not so much now, though. And it wasn't that way on Friday. It was, oh, God, this feels icky. And, well, unfortunately, I was right. DraftKings, I love, though. Don't love an Eagles loss, but I love DraftKings. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. So why don't you take a look at Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown, Devontae Smith over under. How about Saquon, feed the rock to him coming up considering this quiet week? All odds are subject to change, but new customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BRODES. That's code BRODES to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-879-8777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. I'll talk to you later.